Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Terry Toot, and today's show will be called School Funk. And this is Bike Time. Sorry about that title. We're going to talk about the unknown cost of computers and other technological devices for the upcoming school year. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a situation that's we've never seen before of uncertainty with the tariffs. So we're going to talk about how we can try to ease the cost and getting the device, computers, whatever else that your child needs for the school year. Mainly, we're going to talk from grades, from grammar school all the way up to high school. But we'll get into the college. So we're going to talk about what can be done to make it easy on your pocketbooks. Okay, some of the suggestions are pretty good. Okay, but we're going to come back and talk about that and to make it easier for you in this in the 2026 school year. What else we got going on? We get the NBA championship, today's final game. First championship for either Oklahoma City or the Indiana Pacers. And then also we'll talk about my trip to Philadelphia yesterday. Me and my significant other, we took a trip up there. Uh, Philly's known for the cheesesteaks. We'll talk about that and then ride up there and ride back. So let's come on back and have a great show and live your funk. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Once again, welcome back to Bike Time. My name is Terry Toot, and today's show will be called School Funk. Like I said, we're going to talk about the unknown for the cost of your desktop, laptop, computers, tablets, and any other technological device that your child needs to help them be successful in school. And we're going to talk about for the upcoming school year, which will be 2025, 2026. All right. On that note, what else we got to talk about? Like I was saying earlier, uh, today will be the first championship to either Oklahoma City um, Thunder or the Indiana Pacers. Both of those schools, both those NBA teams are relatively well. Indiana Pacers being ABA, but they've always competed when they did the merger from ABA NBA. They've always competed very fiercely for NBA title. So right now, if they win tonight, it'll be their first. Oklahoma City, it'll be their first title. So we'll talk about that. I mean, we're very happy for them, and hopefully they'll come out. Whoever the winner is, there'll be a first championship for both of them. Also, I'm going to send sympathies out to Anne Burrell, who was a very, big star on the Food Network. They found her dead recently this past week. She was only 55 years old, ladies and gentlemen. So we're sending some sympathy to her family and God bless. And she was kind of quirky, funny lady on the Food Network. And she was also a very trained, skilled chef. So we hate to hear something like that about people leaving, and God bless her and her family. What else we got going on, ladies and gentlemen? Like I said, I took a trip up to Philly yesterday. Just me and my significant other, we took a ride up there. Traffic wasn't bad, believe it or not. But the streets, I didn't realize I don't know much about Philadelphia. I really don't. Well, the last time I went there, I went for a football game, and I was close to the highway. So we got there, got out, made our way back north. I mean, south, back down to Maryland. But I finally did the right thing and went through the streets. I thought I was in Hoboken. How small those streets are. Oh my goodness. You got to be kidding me. Um, Also, I went to the South Philly. That's where I went. And stopped at Sarcone's Bakery and had some bread from there. And ladies and gentlemen, it's just like the breads from back in Jersey City and Hoboken. All those fresh breads, and they were really good. And what else? Went to Reading Terminal. If you've never been to Reading Terminal in Philadelphia, uh, it's like a giant food potpourri of you name it. Mostly cheesesteaks. They got a lot of Italian food in there. They got some Indian food. Oh, it smells so good. The chicken biryani. Oh, it looks so good. What else they had in there? They had everything, ladies. And it was just, and it was so crowded in there. Whatever you do, don't park in that parking lot. $26 in park for being there for an hour and a half ain't worth it. But other than that, then I stopped at John's Roast Pork. That's another famous place. Stopped there. Got oh, let me go back to Sarcones. I got if you get a chance, if you go to Sarcones, ladies and gentlemen, it's on South 9th Street in Philadelphia. They make the Italian tomato pie. So what it is like a thick piece of um, Sicilian. But what they do is they put the sauce on top and sprinkle with just Parmesan cheese, and that's it. I've had it before. It is unbelievably good. All right, not the thick mozzarella, but the Parmesan. All right, but the bread. I had some of the bread yesterday. Oh my god, it's so good. So let's give a round of applause to those nice people at Sarcones in Philadelphia. All right, and the trip was good going up and coming back. Um, back before 4 o'clock. So there, yeah, traffic wasn't bad at all. Coming, matter of fact, traffic was easier coming back because I noticed a lot of people that are going north were going to Jersey Shore or they were going down to Atlantic City, those areas, and that traffic at what time? About 2:30. Excuse me, was a nightmare. So thank God I wasn't on that 95 going that direction. So, but other than that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a low key weekend. Except for yesterday, it was reported late last night. Yeah, the United States sent bombs into Iran. I'm gonna go follow into our show for today. So, as you know, we are there are tariffs that are on temporarily. We don't know when they're gonna be lifted or what's gonna happen. So, as we're speaking right now, things are gonna be there's uncertainty that's out here, ladies and gentlemen. So, what they're saying here, which is true. The price of laptops are going to go up 46%, right? Laptops, tablets, Chromebooks, because the parts are over in China and Taiwan, and there's going to be a tariff put on that. So to ship those parts over here is going to be, they're going to put the cost on me, you, okay? Um, it's something that you really, really need to think about, mom and dad, about your kids in for the school year in August, September, and some of these are in different parts of the region of the country, but it's something to really, really think about. But they do see laptop market increasing, but the cost for the motherboards, the integrated circuits, the memory, all that stuff plays a part in all the costs, and it's just not working out the way and it's gonna come back and bite us. We're gonna be the ones that have to pay. Or mom and dad are out there. My son is grown, but there's other ways you could do this, though, ladies and gentlemen. There are computers out there, like Chromebooks. We'll start from the Chromebooks. Chromebooks are just plug and play. Basically, looks for a Wi-Fi connection you're in. Okay, there's not much memory in there. Um, but it's good for the kids that are younger ages. Let's say elementary school to K4. That'd be perfect. Chromebooks are definitely made for them in the low end tablets. Okay. Sometimes you could go to some of these places like Best Buy. They'll have older models, but the same type of processor. Okay, but you probably get it at least $100 cheaper because that was something brand new last year, and they have them in stock. Or it's not so much a refurbished. Someone had bought it and returned it, but you still had the warranty on there from the manufacturer. Plus, anything goes wrong, you bring it back. Okay, but it was used, but it was brought back, and of course, they're going to sell it to you at a lower price. But that's something to think of too. It's really important to just. I mean, I'm just trying to help people out here. You know what I mean? So, But yeah, those are something. And then you have some companies that have remanufactured, like they replace the memory, replace the heat sink, stuff like that. You could get those at a cheaper price. I know people don't want to hear that, but if you can't afford the brand new, this is the next route you can go. A lot of companies like HP, Dell, they have student discounts, and that's something to think about also because you know, like what I was saying, the price of laptops going to go up possibly 46%. Okay, and we don't know what's going on. We don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I'm gonna go through the ages of what's really good for them for for computing. Okay, so like I said, grades K to 4, plug them. You know, Chromebook is perfect for them. Okay, um, they can just plug in. You know, there's a Wi-Fi signal somewhere. Let me can connect to that. All right, it's not going to do much damage. The processors in the Chromebooks are low; they're not the best, but they can still connect to the internet and they can do work on there, but nothing strenuous. Okay, because you got a very small processor, and then next thing you know it's gone because it cannot push the data that's needed, and the processing power is very weak. Okay. Um, it worked good for classrooms. My significant other is a teacher, kindergarten teacher, and she has Chromebooks in their classroom for the kids, and it works out perfectly for them. Okay, so there's nothing hard to it. Um, like say for instance, if a child gets a Chromebook from a school, now it has logon features on there that are controlled because they can see who's logging into them and everything, and of course they have GPS on it, but that goes without saying. But it has all your instructional apps or your work that you need to be done because the school has already created an image on there for those children. So that's something to think about too. Um, Tablets. I have a tablet. I have two tablets. Matter of fact, I have a Samsung and I also have the Amazon Fire. They did a remarkable job in getting that better. I had one previously; it was garbage. But tablets work so good, ladies and gentlemen. You can almost some of the power in some of them are really good. Okay, we're talking for the kids from kindergarten to fourth grade. Okay, you can download all kind of apps on there, and there's some that are free that work perfectly with your children. All right, it's got a lot, especially Amazon. Google's got some really good apps out there for kids. Really do, and it's great that they have really good educational apps and they work good. And the schools have know about them too. So that's something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, mom and dad, if you got a child that's been in grades of fifth through eight, this is where we're going to talk about um, processing. Now, to me, now this is just me. I've been in the business for a minute. To have a Chromebook now, none of this stuff existed 40 years ago when I was in school. But for now, I would say the fifth grade, that's it for a Chromebook. And I wouldn't even recommend that because now some of these apps require more power. Okay. A Chromebook just doesn't have that power to do some work with some of these apps. Next thing you know, your 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 Chromebook is frozen because it doesn't have enough memory to work with some of these applications. That was from Google Chrome, okay? But this is only good, I'd say fifth grade. After that, they're going to need a real laptop, okay? And Windows or Mac, all right? I would say an i3 processor for your fifth graders. After that, seventh and eighth, no way. Personally, yeah, they could. i3 would be fine. They're not getting anything, you know. They're doing links. I don't know if they're doing PowerShell stuff like that. They might be doing PowerShell stuff, but that would be like an i3 processor. Um, and the Macs work perfectly. So if you have a Mac for a child and they're working in a science class and they're creating links and stuff like that, or they creating programs, this is something to really think about when you come in with the i3 processors. This will work fine. And the MacBook too. MacBooks are fine. They schools love them, and they'll work out for you. Okay. And then when you get to ninth grade, then this is where you're talking where we're going to get mom and dad a machine that's going to last for at least 2.5 years. Okay. Because, they're doing more, they're pushing more data, they're working more harder applications. And also, like I was saying earlier, they're doing more technical, advanced stuff. Okay. Writing programs. Okay. You need that power. So, i5 i7 processors will work. Also, the AMD chips. I have this my laptop right here is an AMD. Um, yeah, mine's an AMD. This will run you. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I have. I'm not afraid to tell you. I have an AMD processor, and let's see what we got here underneath this hood. Let's see. So what I have here is I should have had this ready. Okay, so I'm running a Ryzen 5. And it's got a 2.3 gigahertz processor. That's fine with me. For what I'm doing here, podcast and everything here, this works out fine. Mom and dad, this will work out perfectly too. And the graphics are superior. I'm not saying because I own it, because I have the MSI, and their specialty was graphics, but the AMD um, processors I have on here, it's fantastic, fantastic. And I have a big screen, so this is a 15-inch VivoBook. So they're not really, listen, ladies and gentlemen, 15-inch, 16-inch, the screen works perfectly, perfectly, ladies and gentlemen. And also, let me say this: you don't want to get 16 gigs or more. Now, like I said in previous podcasts, you're not able to add more RAM like you used to back in the day. Like you go to Kingston, PNY, um, all those companies that did the you could get memory. You can Crucial is another one. You could do run Crucial. You could download their app, and it'll go and check and see what kind of memory you use for your computer. Now it'll tell you if, hey, um, we can't run it because you only slotted for 16 gigs, or that type of thing. But it doesn't hurt. Called it's a Crucial USA configurator. You can use that. Okay. All right. Cool. And that's great. The 9 through 12, I would definitely recommend that. And some of the computers for them, really, the two-in-ones, the Lenovo Yogas, they work fine. Printers is really, really not even for the younger kids, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely Wi-Fi. You gotta go Wi-Fi. Okay. Definitely Wi-Fi, because if they're doing assignments, they're going to need to print out their assignments sometimes. Okay, sometimes they'll just if I understand in the high school grades, that the kids, all you need to do is save it, create the document, save it, and then email it to the teacher or the professor. But in this case, I would recommend a good printer. I have an Epson. HP is good, but they're expensive. Canon makes really good printers. Who else is out there? There's a lot of good printers out there you can find, but they're not too expensive. And and the Wi-Fi, everybody has a Wi-Fi. All right. So I recommend that, ladies and mom and dad, maybe $100. I don't know what they are now. They're a little bit more because I've had mine for a few years now. But if you can get discounted prices before the school year, that's another thing. Try it if you can. And you young people out there, that sophomores and juniors, hey, you guys can get a job, summertime job, that pay for your own laptop or whatever you want to buy for school. That'll help out your mom and dad a lot. Okay. Another thing that can help out too, mom and dad, is the external hard drives or cloud storage. Cloud storage is a different thing, but having an external hard drive, oh hell yeah. Because say for instance you're working on something, okay, and you gotta go somewhere and you gotta take it with you. Okay. Put that your Western Digital, who else you got? Seagate, PNY. You know, take that thing, download it, put it on the external. Bam, you gotta go somewhere. And there you go. There's your file. You go someplace else, plug it into your USB-C port. Bam, you got your information. So this is something that's in the thumb drives. Some it's the thumb drives. They're cheap as hell now. They really are, ladies and gentlemen. They're not that expensive back in the day. When I was coming up with the thumb drives, it was something to have. But nowadays, you definitely need it. Let's hear some music real quick. These are not that expensive, I don't think anymore. Back in the day, they were, but now let's bring that down a little bit. Sorry about that. All right, let's bring that down. Yeah, so you can get externals. They're not that expensive at all, ladies and gentlemen. You can get a 1 terabyte for like $50, and you can get that on Amazon, or you could go to Best Buy, and they're not that expensive anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got here. I've had my Western Digital. I got Western Digital. I have thumb drives still, and they're lasting me forever, and they're not going anywhere. Um, you can get an 8 terabyte for 140 at Best Buy, and yeah, you can get them really cheap, ladies and gentlemen. So, mom and dad, that's something to think about for a terabyte. What else? You can do a dual layer, all that. You get all that stuff. There's a 2 terabyte Seagate, $75. You cannot beat that. So that's something to think about. And you can get here's a SanDisk. This one's $45. Let me say what the size. 512 gig. So that's perfect. All right. So what else we got here? Also, kids, you could be a little bit easier and help my mom and dad. Get a bag, carry case. You definitely need that because you don't want to drop that thing. You got the Dual, you got Belkin, Swissgear, Targets. I have them. You can't go on knapsacks. You get those, specially made for laptops. So that's something to think about. Wireless mouse. Why not? They can get those $30. Okay, wireless mouse, keyboard, all together. You get them like $20. I would try and get this stuff. This, especially the peripherals, that would help mom and dad out a lot. Okay. Software. See what kind of software you can find out there before the school year starts. 'Cause Microsoft has good deals. Um, Another thing to think about, like I said earlier, make sure you have a good computer that has a good hard, a good external. I mean, a good processor on there. Okay, a good processor takes you a long way, and it's going to save you some money. To the parents out there, we got MacBook Pro 14-inch, and those prices are gonna go from $1,000 and up, depending on what you want configured on this for that mom and dad. Okay, you can't go wrong with that. Another thing, tablets. I was talking about earlier. Um, you have the Apple iPad 10th generation, right? It's got the A14 Bionic processor, which is equivalent to about 3.3 gigs, 3 gigs. That's pretty good. All right. And those will run from $300 and up. And then you have the Galaxy tablets. Like I told you, I have one too. Mine's old though. Um, those ones at 3.36 gigahertz, and they run from 179 and up. Okay. Like I said, think about this stuff, mom and dad. I know it's going to be tough this year, but I hope, if you can try, if you have the money, try and get this stuff definitely early before the mad rush of people trying to get new devices. It's really, really important. Like I said, and also too, I'm going to tell you what else is real important. If you could buy an external battery pack, Um, they are fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Um, I had wine when I was in Jersey City recently, and like a dummy, my phone was going dead. So I went to Walmart and bought the Anchor power brick. And ladies and gentlemen, that thing I charged it before I left, and it saved me. And that's something to really have, because there's going to be times where you're not going to be able to. You can connect to the Wi-Fi, but what if you don't have your power cable? Okay, um, here's something to think about. You can, if you have a USB or USB C, you can connect to these bricks. And ladies and gentlemen, they work like a charm. I wouldn't steer you wrong. And the prices on those range from, like, I got mine for $20. Mine's simple, but they have some bigger ones. They run from $20 up to about 120. And you got Anchor, Belkin, Mophie, and Xiaomi. If I'm pronouncing it right, I apologize. But yeah, here's something to think about. Yeah, I'm just giving ideas, you mom and dad. Um, it's best to try to get your sons or your daughters electronic stuff before the school year, if you can. If you can't understand, we all understand because we're going through things right now. But yeah, I'm just here as a voice and trying to help, because I know everybody talking. We got the tariffs and all that stuff, and we got other things going on. But it's just, if you have the funds to do that, I mean, it'll be fantastic if you do that. So, come the school year start, I know usually like in down south, schools start in August, but it'll be fantastic if you can just get that stuff out the way for. And then, like I said earlier, the kids, you too, can help mom and dad out. Maybe buy some peripherals, wireless keyboard, an external drive, um, the power banks, something like that, and that would be fantastic. I guarantee you, they'll be so happy for you and the things you're doing. And let me tell you, you really would. You helping out your mom and dad, working hard in the summer, and doing things like that. So we're gonna end the show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody has a great rest of your Sunday. It's really hot here in Maryland. It's supposed to get up to 99 degrees. So I got up early this morning and cut the grass and try to be, proficient here before it got too hot. So I got that out the way. So we're going to end the show with a song called Lighter Than Air. It's a beautiful song, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope everything works out for the future in your search for, the best course of your son or daughter's laptop, desktop, and the peripherals that are needed. If you feel like you need more information, hey, I'm over here doing the show either Saturdays or Sundays. And you can go to my email to the Podbean is terry.toot.podbean.com. And hey, if you want to leave me an email, it's fine also. So we're going to end the show on this note, ladies and gentlemen. Lighter than air. Good luck and be well, ladies and gentlemen.